G'day and welcome. There are 3 key positions that you can place guitar related effects in the whole signal chain. First is right in front of the preamp. The preamp is the tone shaping section of your amplifier. 2 is the effects loop. This places your effects between the preamp and the speaker. And 3, after the speaker. But what I want to know is, how does effect placement affect the sound? And we're going to test exactly that in this video. But first, I want to do a blind test. You're about to hear 3 samples, all with the tremolo effect. One placed before the preamp, one placed between the preamp and speaker, and one after the speaker. Can you identify the tremolo effect that is after the speaker? Interesting when you can't see the results you're hearing. I'll share the answer soon, but first, disclosure. This video is not sponsored. I purchased all of the toys shown and the suppliers had no knowledge of my intentions. Now, allow me a moment just to explain how I got the samples, done the test. That way we're all on the same page. Or, if you're an eager beaver, everything's time-stamped. You'll skip ahead now. But first, replacing me on the guitar is this Boss RC3 looper. The idea is simple. I'm using the exact same guitar sample, removing human error from the testing. I have chosen this Australian-made preamp. It's a tube preamp, the V3 by Prologue amplifiers. Replicating the cab section is this TC electronic IR loader, and loaded into that will be an impulse response of this Celestion's MC90, the Black Shadow, commonly seen in Masabuki cabs. The microphone, this E906, I've captured the impulse response directly at the edge of cone, but I've turned the mic 25 degrees so it's pointing directly to the center of the cone. And if you like the impulse response you're hearing, you're welcome to have it for free. Head down to the description of this video, you'll see 2 social media links. Head on over, download them. Don't forget to like and follow while you're there. I will be giving away more freebies. The format from here on is super simple. First, you're going to hear the loop through the dry preamp and cab. Then you're going to hear the effect before the preamp, between the preamp and cab, and then after the cab. I'll repeat the same process again using the distortion channel, so you'll hear both clean and distorted tones. Take note, none of the settings are going to change, only the pedal placement. That way, if you hear any differences, it's a direct result of the pedal placement. Also note, I will do 0 post-processing after I've recorded it. This is strictly because there is slightly different volume levels, and that is a result of the placement. All right. That being said, let's get to our first test. Fun fact, 1949, the first reverb effects was used in a recording studio by simply placing a speaker inside of a tiled bathroom. The natural reverb created by sound reflecting off the walls, and they simply re-recorded it with a mic. That means the effect was placed after the speaker. The first plate reverb was created in 1957. This large box housed a large sheet metal plate that was quite susceptible to all loud noises around and was never placed on stage for live music. because it needed to be in its own soundproof rooms. But it was Hammond Organ Company who invented the very first known spring reverb unit sometime in the 1930s. But it was only in the 1960s when they decided to release a standalone spring reverb tank that quickly found its way into guitar amps as a standard feature. By the 1970s, digital pedals like this Fender Marine layer reverb started popping up and giving everybody more control over its features like decay time, high and low frequencies, and so on. Let's play with this one first. Fun fact, the phaser effects originated in the 1960s. It was intentionally developed as a studio effect. The process involved splitting the audio signal into two, then reversing the phase of one before recombining it to the original signal. The first phaser pedal was released in the 1970s, the Maestro PS1. Well, I have the Bad Moon Phaser by TC Electronics. Let's test this one. Fun fact, did you know that 1948 marks the year of the very first ever mass-produced effects pedal? It's the Tremolo 800 by Diamond. The guitar's signal processed through a water-based electrolytic fluid to augment the sound. Guitar amp makers of the era quickly adopted this technology into their combos, and that explains how the tremolo became the standard effect featured in many popular vintage guitar amplifiers, and brings us to the blind test results. If you guessed the tremolo was placed after the speaker on the second sample, you'd be wrong. No, just joking. It's actually placed after the third sample. Let's have another listen. Fun fact, delays were originally recorded on tape. They call them tape delays, and then it was played back into the main mix. developed in the 1940s, but it only started catching on around the 1950s. Electro-harmonics arguably created the first analog delay pedal, called the Memory Man, sometime in the early 70s. But the first digital version came from Boss, the DD2, and that was released around 1983. But for this part, meet the MXR carbon copy. Fun fact, the Hammond Organ Company is credited once again for originally creating the chorus effect around 1936. But it was Boss CE1 that became the first chorus pedal, released in 1976. Say hello to Black Label Chorus by MXR. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed learning firsthand how different effects pedals affect the overall sound, depending on their placement. I hope these tests helped you determine where you might prefer, certain effects. I would love to hear your thoughts on the matter, even if there's something I've missed or could have done better. I'm still learning, so teach me. If you have some links for me to check out, share them. Give me some ideas. You're as much part of this journey as I am living it. Now I would like to say goodbye. Thank you for sharing your time with me, but before I go, I'll leave you with one more final test. Don't forget to subscribe, chuck me a thumbs up, and hit that cowbell to be notified when the next video is released. Right. Distortion. Have fun, keep it rocking.
Bye.